What's up everyone, it's Andrea Anoka here with the Alkaline Lifestyle, and today we are learning how to tap into our intuition. If you like this video, if you find anything useful in this video that you want to share with someone you love and care for, please like, subscribe, turn on the bells for notification for videos that come out every Tuesday and Thursday, where we harness in on the information, tools, and resources to learn how to self-heal and align ourselves with our most natural and authentic selves. So, what is intuition? Well, intuition is actually your body's inner wisdom, the intelligence that's innate in you that helps you navigate yourself and the world around you. Some people say that your intuition is really unreliable because it's coming from a spiritual place. And to be honest, we are actually spiritual, energetic beings inside a physical 3D body. And so there's actually a lot of emerging research that is really focused now on understanding the spirituality and how it's connected to the physical body. A lot of science is showing that our gut is highly, highly intelligent and actually one of our many brains that we have in our body. So a lot of people think that we have just one brain, but actually, in my opinion, we have three. The first being in the heart, second being the gut, third being in the brain, the actual brain. And so if you think about it, your heart is the one that's always the one to navigate you. And people get really confused because the heart seems like you're always coming from an emotionally soft place. Like you tend to be a little bit more dramatic when you follow your heart, but really your heart is telling you what the right answer is for yourself, and it's communicating with your gut, which is so full of different neurons and brain cells and all of this intelligence and information, which communicates with the thinking brain, which does the strategic thinking, the analytical thinking, and basically puts the body into action. So there's really a lot of proof now also that's showing that there are brain cells in the heart. So we're starting to see in science that the heart is actually a very intelligent organ in the body. And so that's why I believe that the heart is the first brain. And so, when you learn to tap into your intuition, I believe this is the most valuable resource that we have, because it does allow us to navigate, and it allows us to follow our own compass that we have within us. And it's so powerful. Once you learn to harness the skill of tapping into your intuition, you no longer need or feel the need to rely on anything outside of you to guide you in your life. So how do we tap into our intuition? Well, it's important to get into a state where you are connected with yourself. And a lot of us are not taught how to do this because we're raised that you have to think with your brain, and we're taught that we have to follow the leadership of our elders, our parents, our teachers, whomever else. So we're never really taught how to listen to ourselves. And this is something that I think is really important to make sure that as adults we really encourage the youth, children, to listen to their intuition, listen to what their insides are telling them, and not just so much the brain, because again, the brain does the strategizing, it does the analyzing, but you can get so lost in your thoughts in your brain, and you find yourself going against yourself. Many people are very disconnected from their selves. They just don't know how to read the messages that are coming to them. And in hindsight, when you look back, you've made a decision about something, you didn't do something, you did do something, you had this idea to do something, and you went the opposite of what you were being told, or the thoughts that came into your mind. And then later down the road, maybe 5 seconds later, 5 minutes, 5 hours later, 5 days, 5 years, whatever it is, you look back and you're like, oh, yeah, I remember I thought about it and I didn't do it, or whatever the case may be. So it's important when you do get those messages from your intuition that you really follow and obey it, because otherwise you're going to go against yourself. You're going to feel really disconnected from yourself. And the more that you practice doing it, the more that the answers that you need come to you, and you start making better decisions for you. So one of the first ways that is great, I think, really to get into your body is through movement. And so using dance, allowing yourself to just dance and let the body just like move and do whatever it wants to do. Let it tell you how it wants to move or needs to move, how it wants to express itself. That's a really great way to get back into the body, really get grounded with yourself. Another way you can do is exercise. Yoga is a wonderful practice because it really helps you connect with the mind, the body, and the breath. And these are really important to get these all coherent and working together, because then you become present, which leads me into the next thing, which would be breathing exercises. So getting in tune with your breath, getting in tune with a grounding breath. So this helps you to, again, stay present, and then you are able to focus on your body. And so when you do breath, 1 to 3 minutes, it just depends on how much you're able to keep yourself focused at one time. But for me, I like to do 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, and that's breathing through the nose, in through the nose, and then exhaling out through the nose, and allowing the diaphragm to expand. Some people are not aware of their breath. It's so easy to get disconnected from your breath, especially when we're stressed, or we're just like on the go. We're just kind of going through the motions kind of thing. We're just not paying attention to our breath. And then we wonder why we're so tired, because there's no oxygen getting to the brain. And it's so important that you get the oxygen to the brain, because then that's how you stay energized and throughout the rest of the body. So breathing is very, very powerful, very, very effective, and very, very necessary. And it is a great segue into meditation, which I love to do breathing exercises before I get into meditation. And then as I'm meditating, staying in tune with that breath as well. Again, in through the nose, out through the nose, and allowing the diaphragm to expand. When we do shallow breathing, it actually inhibits anxiety, because it gets the adrenaline running. It actually, the shallow breathing a lot of times it happens in the chest, and it can be done through the nose. Sometimes we do it through our mouths, but either way, when we're breathing into the chest, it's very shallow. We're not getting the oxygen we need, and then our brain and our bodies start to kind of go into panic. And so when you're having a panic attack or an anxiety attack, or having any kind of anxiety, it's really important to get centered with the breath, and that helps you bring yourself back into alignment. So there's a few exercises that you can do to practice getting into your intuition. So again, when we go against the intuition, what our bodies are trying to tell us, because our bodies are so full of information, that when we learn to listen, we can make the right decision. And so one of the ways that we can practice doing this is just by little practices. I wouldn't start with something so big and life-changing, because it can be a little overwhelming. But just to get started, you can actually think of a time where something was so concrete, like a memory was so concrete for you. Think of a situation where it was like an absolute no. Like, no, I do not believe in this. I do not agree with this. Whatever that situation was, and it was a no for you. Start by thinking about that, recalling that memory, and then shouting, no, 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 no. And feel how like concrete it feels in your body. Like it's definite no. You agree with it. Your body is telling you no, no. Now, switch it to a yes. Switch it to a memory, a time in your life where it was like a definite yes. Like, yes, this is my house. Yes, this is my job. Yes, this is my partner. Think of that and then shout, yes, 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 and feel how that feels in your body. Feel the difference between the no and the yes and how like concrete it feels, because it's legitimate, it's true and authentic to you. It's your truth. Now, take that concrete no situation and start shouting, yes, 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 yes. After a few times, you'll start to notice that there's a difference between the first time when you were saying no to this no situation, and then this time where you're saying yes to the no situation. So for me, I noticed that if I'm saying the opposite of how I feel or what I know to be true, there's a feeling in the body. Sometimes it's a pull, sometimes maybe there's some heat in the body. Like really think about like where in the body you feel the sensations, what the sensations are, and then acknowledge that that's your body telling you yes or no. It's telling you, whether you're in alignment with you. And then now, another practice that you can do is say, for example, my name is Andrea, but I say, my name is Stephanie. My name is Stephanie. My name is Stephanie. See, it doesn't really click for me. I don't feel the connection to it. It feels very like distant. I can feel it in my chest that it's not right. And so practice this a little bit. Try these exercises with the concrete no and the concrete yes. And in the no, start by saying no. Shouting no. Like this is like, and like you will feel it in your body. Like this is no. And then when you switch it and you turn it into a yes, but the situation is actually a no, you will feel the pull, the disconnect. Like you're like, for me, like my body kind of starts to like cringe, tighten up. Usually for me, it's there's a tightness in throat and jaw, like if you're not speaking your truth and there's something that you want to say and you hold back and you suppress it and you restrict yourself, there seems to be like there's this tension. It's almost like you're like holding yourself. Even your voice might not be as boisterous as it naturally is. It might be more high-pitched or softer, and it's because you're trying to hold back from what you really want to say. But when you just allow yourself to just express, when you allow yourself to follow that intuition, that inner wisdom, it feels so light. Like I feel like for me, when I'm in alignment and I'm following that intuition, it feels almost like energy is just so like light, and it just kind of travels up through my body. But when I'm going against it, it feels like the energy just sinks into the gut, and that's where you kind of get like that gut-wrenching feeling that no, this doesn't feel right. no, like I'm feeling kind of knots or butterflies in my tummy. And you always get like these little hunches. And again, that's your intuition telling you something. So listen to it. Listen to what your body is telling you. When you ask yourself honest questions, you get honest answers. And you can even practice this with, say, for example, just before this video, I was feeling like it was a long day. I would normally record my video earlier in the day when I have a lot more energy, creative juices are flowing. It's kind of like at the peak. But at the end of the day, you've kind of taken in so much that you're a little bit lethargic. And so for me, I was feeling a little bit lethargic, but, asking myself like, okay, do I need more food? No, I just ate. I just ate dinner and don't need more food. Okay, do I need water? Yes, I do need water. Like right now. So necessary. The other question that I ask myself, and if I'm feeling like lethargic, like my brain just feels very like tired. The other thing is, okay, how's my breathing? So then you get into your breath, and there's like all of this energy and this charge that starts to happen. And so, people that tend to like use like caffeine, or they tend to grab for food, but their body's like really not needing that. And so people who struggle with like their weight, they tend to gravitate towards something that they don't actually need. Usually it's something totally different. Like they might think that they need food, but they don't need food. Sometimes we think we need food, sometimes we think our body wants food, but we're just so used to eating or eating to buffer an emotion that we are taking in something that we don't actually need. And by also taking in like thoughts, taking in any influences from the outside that are not serving us in the best way, that can also really hinder us from being in tune with ourselves. So it's not just what we're putting into our mouths, but it's also what we're putting into our minds. So really be mindful and aware of what you're allowing in as far as anything external from you. So be that food, be that beverage, be that whatever it is. One of my absolute favorite ways to also get connected with my intuition is to cleanse the body of any toxins, whether it's any toxic thoughts, toxic foods, toxic any substances. And like if I've been like in an environment that's just super toxic, like bad air quality or something, like going and getting into fresh air is really cleansing as well. The cells, doing a cellular cleanse with herbs, that's super, super helpful. One of the things that I include in my coaching programs is a cellular cleanse, because once we cleanse the cells, we're clean. And now we can start taking in new information, because when we're loading our bodies with substances, whether it's thoughts or anything that we ingest or put on our skin or what we're breathing in, it really can dirty up the cells, so to speak. And so by doing a cleanse of what we're taking in really helps to reset everything. And even fasting is a way that sometimes people will cleanse their bodies so that they're not taking in anymore, because we can get into an overload. And again, it makes it really hard to connect with our intuition, the intelligence that our bodies is trying to send us. And so when there's an overload, we're not paying attention. It just seems like any other thought, and it gets kind of lost in there. But again, when you learn to harness into that, it makes it so much easier to hear it, listen to it, and then it's your decision whether to follow it. And it's my recommendation that you follow it because it will serve you so well. I promise you. So another thing to think about is understanding your patterns. As we were just talking about, people who, for example, have an issue with weight and they are buffering with food with an emotion, buffering an emotion with food or alcohol or whatever it is. It's human nature that you want to feel good, but when you're buffering an emotion with something else, it creates this pattern of especially like addiction. Like for me, cell phone can be a little bit of an addiction, which is why I love to give myself a break from it. But I know that if I'm on it too much, I know how I feel. I feel drained. I feel like I'm so disconnected from everything else. I'm not connected with, the people around me or appreciating the present moment. And so I know that certain things can become addictive for me. And so it's important that, I take a moment and ask myself, do I need this? And I'll feel whether I have had too much of something or if that's not what I need at that time. So I always ask myself, again, honest, powerful questions so I can get honest, powerful answers. So hopefully this serves you guys so well. I hope you find some valuable information. Add this to your toolbox of tools to help you learn how to tap into your intuition and really allow your inner wisdom from your body to speak to you. And so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share with somebody you love and care about. If you have any questions, if you you want to connect, please hit me up on my Instagram, and my coaching is also available for one-on-one coaching on my website. I'll put the links in the description box below. I hope you all have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I will see you in the next one.